Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the problematic red pill movement, the masculinity tip givers, the alpha males, and every other person that falls into that category. Before I get into it, I want to give a few disclaimers. I will probably hurt your feelings with the things I'm going to say. I am going to speak my truth unapologetically. I'm saying this because I know that 50% of my audience is male, and so I'm pretty much split across both audiences in half. And I just kind of want to get that out of the way. I'm also going to try to approach this from a very I don't even want to say a centrist point of view because I don't think there's anything to be centrist about in this particular topic because it's really beginning to irritate me. So that's why I want to talk about it. Before we get into it though, please make sure that you give this video a thumbs up. Please make sure that you also subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you'll be notified when I post a new video. I'm going to start by introducing what the red pill movement is. Like, I feel like there are so many facets or there are so many sides to what red pill can actually be defined as. But for the context of this video, I'm talking about those people who are very pro men do this, giving masculinity advice and the entire nine yards. I do not necessarily think that all of what they say is wrong. And just hold on, I know that sounds wild. I feel like if you're going to be pro men and all those things, you should give the basic advice to men. Okay, get your money up, work hard, be fit, eat healthy, things that's basically what the femininity coaches do, if that makes sense. So, on the basic level, I can understand by saying that, okay, as a man, you're called to be a protector, called to be a provider. In fact, the gender roles that men are expected to play, I can understand the red pill movement kind of catering to that. So, in that sense, I would excuse it. But currently, what we are seeing on the internet is becoming very crazy. I feel like you also see a lot of the red pill movement in countries like America and also probably in some parts of the UK. I will not speak for those audiences because I feel like there are a lot of people who are already calling them out on their bullshit. So I'm going to speak for Nigeria because Nigeria is where I'm from. So sometimes people also categorize people that belong to the red pill movement as maybe incels, as misogynists, or let's say pick me's. I made a whole video on what the term pick me actually means. I'm going to link that video here. You know, I like the fact that when I make videos, I can usually just reference them in my other videos because now that video comes in handy here. Anyway, so we classify those groups of people to be a part of the red pill movement. Why I wanted to make this video is because I saw, I think, about two tweets yesterday. At first, I wasn't sure of whether I should do this video or not, but those two tweets really, really triggered me. And I was like, okay, no, I have to come and say something about it. On Twitter, especially, there is like a pandemic of the alpha males. People usually spell it in a really funny way. I'll leave it on the screen. So there's like a pandemic of new alpha males who are claiming to be masculinity coaches and are actually leading a whole generation of men and boys astray. But basically, these alpha males on Twitter are like, should I say, knockoff versions? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just so funny when I see some of their tweets because they're so unbelievably stupid. I want to say that they're like knockoff versions of actual in quotes alpha males, and I really have a problem with that term. But I'm going to be using it for the entirety of this video just to describe the group of people that I'm talking about. So I'm sorry, you can't even stop laughing because it's so ridiculous. So yeah, these men on Twitter, they kind of claim to be helping men through their bullshit, helping men to be more masculine by giving men regular advice. And sometimes I actually do see good advice. I'm not going to lie to you. I see some people actually giving good advice, and I won't take that away from people who are genuinely doing that for the betterment of men in society. But I feel like the things that some of them focus on are so silly, so superficial, and they don't even talk about the other very serious problems that some men are causing in society. For instance, let's say, God, used to be so sensitive, SADV, the R word, all those things. So yeah, they're probably doing some in quotes groundwork that makes sense, but for the most part, the things that they talk about are just very silly. So I'm going to read out two of those tweets. The first tweet says, "Men, if she gets pregnant, stay away from her. You may offer resources to support her during pregnancy, but detach. You have done your work, let her do hers." Did you ever see your father hovering around your mother when she was pregnant? Grow up. Hashtag masculinity Saturday. Can you people just take a minute to think about what I just read to you? I'm going to leave it on the screen so that as I'm talking, you can actually see what I'm talking about. Some people usually give the arguments that, oh, why you guys even expending your strength on people like this? That this doesn't make any sense. That these are faceless accounts. I want us to correct that mentality because these are things that people actually listen to. Okay, it is still a person, it's still a human being behind these fake accounts, and whether or not this person is joking, there are men, there are boys on Twitter, on the internet, who are looking at these things and are actually taking it seriously. That's why it is a cause for concern, if that makes sense. So now let's just break down all the things that he has said. He said if she gets pregnant, stay away from her. You may offer her resources to support her during her pregnancy, but detach. There are a lot of people who did support it. This tweet has over 6,000 likes. So now this person is looking at masculinity as detaching from anything that a woman also needs to do. Imagine somebody coming to Twitter to tell you that you should abandon or you should detach from your wife who is pregnant. Doesn't that even tell you that is not this person should be excommunicated from society? This is how people are going to think, because the fundamental, should I say, reason for having a family is for you guys to do things together. It's for there to be a basis for which children grow up, for there to be a basis for which you nurture your children. And nurturing your children doesn't just start when the mom has given birth and she's breastfeeding. It starts when your child is still in the womb. This person is saying you may offer resources to support her during pregnancy. Yes, you can offer resources like maybe paying for extra care, but as a husband, why are you there? It's one thing if maybe your job takes you away and you're very busy and you're trying to actually hustle to make money for the family. That's one thing. But this one is telling people to detach, and this is what people are actually listening to. Doesn't that tell you that these people are not all the way there? You know, when you say somebody's not all the way there, like they're not, it's not complete, something is missing. Does that make sense? Now, the second part of this tweet, it says, Jesus, I can't, oh my God. It says, you have done your work, let her do hers. So the work was what? To just have sex and shoot sperm, and that's it. That's the work. Can you just see there are so many layers to this. You know, the work in quotes is not just you having sex and creating an offspring with somebody. The work also includes taking care of your wife, because guess what? Your wife is the one carrying that child. So you have to take care of her as well. It's really crazy that we've gotten to a point in society where we actually have to talk about these things. And it just really tells you how, should I say, how far we've gone down the slippery slope. And sometimes you can say, oh, no, nobody's actually doing this. But think about the number of cases we see in Nigeria about people who are, let's say, men who are, physically assaulting their pregnant wives or even their non-pregnant wives. And these are just the ones we see. Imagine the ones we don't see. He now said, did you ever see your father hovering around your mother when she was pregnant? Grow up.
Oh, really?
And then the fact that he said masculinity Saturday. This tweet was done yesterday, this Sunday. Masculinity Saturday. Really? Really? So now it's not it's a non-masculine thing for you to stick around your wife and help out when she's pregnant. Do you see how poisonous this particular message is to society? Do you see how poisonous this is to young men and boys? because this is the mentality that, like it or not, a lot of people have. You don't know it, they probably don't show it to you. Maybe not the ones who are educated and much more, in quotes, progressive, but the average, just the average man, is possible. It's very, very possible for them to potentially think like this. And this is why I'm saying that there is a problem with with this movement, because these people are not all the way there. You can't convince me otherwise. Let me go to the second tweet. Okay, this one's another oh my god. John Doe. Okay, so the second tweet says the greatest scam is paying a bride price for something other men got for free and will still get for free even after you've paid for the bride price. And I don't get this thing. Like, I don't understand why people see bride price as you purchasing a human being. That person is not a slave. You're not buying her vagina. If two adults decide to have sex and it's consensual, that's between the two of them. You're not paying for anybody's vagina. I don't understand why some men have this kind of entitlement to maybe wanting a woman who is in quote a virgin when you yourself are not a virgin. It doesn't even make sense. So are you trying to say that men are kind of absorbed of the whole virginity discussion and women aren't? Because as a man, the usually what this community brags about is being able to pull women and sleep around and throw money around and all those things. And if that's their prerogative, then I'm not going to stop them. But you also cannot fault another person for what, like, as in that's what you're doing, but you're trying to fault someone else for it. I know I'm oversaying it, but these people are actually, they're not all the way there. It shows. It really, really shows. I don't understand what they also mean by what other men got for free. Is Can you even see how people think or approach the topic of sex to begin with? Sex is not something, it's not transactional. It's not something you buy. It's something that happens between two adults who consent to it and are willing to enjoy each other. Simple. I don't understand why they have this mentality of, okay, somebody else got it for free, therefore you love her, but you don't love her. If you don't love her, then don't marry her, because I feel like all these things shouldn't be important. I'm not trying to say that people should not look at the past of who they want to marry. People's pasts are important because it's from the past that you're able to look at patterns. And yeah, do people change? Yes, they change. But if you're not ready for that, then just don't embark on that journey at all. Like, you really expect a woman to just live her life based on the fact that, okay, one day I'm going to get married, like, just for you. Don't you even think that that's kind of selfish? So I'm not even just referring to the topic of sex, but I'm just trying to explain how warped this mentality really is. Because I'm not even kidding you guys. People were agreeing with these two tweets in the comments and in the quotes. It's really telling of where society is today. And sometimes I want to say, okay, why is it that these people have this kind of disgusting mentalities? Because in a country like Nigeria is very, very patriarchal. So there are a lot of, in quotes, father figures and, in quotes, masculinity coaches in, let's say, pastors or religious leaders. There are people that young men can actually look up to for the right advice. But they don't. They keep looking at these foolish. My point is, this is not how we want to train the next generation of boys. You don't want to have sons, and you may say, oh, this is not a big deal, but you don't want to have children, sons, nephews, whatever, cousins, friends. You don't want to have children or people like that around you, because that's a very dangerous mentality to carry around in the society. And you may be saying, oh, this is very minuscule in comparison to the other issues that we have. No, this is one of the biggest issues we have in Nigeria, where women are not actually treated as human beings by their significant others. We've seen it so many times. We've seen so many cases of men who are allegedly, unaliving their significant others, and they don't even face any justice for it. So why do you think they're able to get away with things like that? People are propagating these disgusting mentalities, and people are seeing it as okay. We also don't have very stable law enforcement in Nigeria. So a lot of criminals actually go scot-free. That's already a huge problem. So we don't want this. We don't want this to contribute to that. My last point is that I think that there is enough division amongst men and women today. In America, it's one thing I think is really, really bad, especially within the black community. But I'm not going to speak for America because I'm not an American yet. In Nigeria, yeah, there is a lot of division, and rightfully so, because we see both sides of the divide attacking each other for problems that both sides of the divide are actually contributing to society. I did a video about this on gender wars. I'm going to link that video here in the cards so that you guys can watch it, and I'll link it in the description box as well. So I feel like each person has their own role to play, or each gender has their own role to play, but for the sake of this video, I'm on the necks of alpha males who think that things like this are okay. We have enough going on for us. We have enough problems. We shouldn't be adding to them actively, all in the name of masculinity Saturday or whatever the fuck that means. I'm done. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to also subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so you'll be notified when I post a new video. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.